When you think of the Cruis'n series, you think of games like Cruis'n USA and Cruis'n World. Now, there's even a third Cruis'n game on the N64, but I've never played that one. And while the Cruis'n games were amazing back in the day, we're not here to talk about those. What's going on, guys? The Rose here for the Derailed Patreon. Taking a break from the Gran Turismo videos I've been working on to bring you this game review. Today, we're not going to talk about the great Cruis'n games. We're going to talk about this Cruis'n game. Right here, Cruis'n Blast for the Nintendo Switch. Or really was it for the Nintendo Switch? You see, in 2017, in January of 2017, Raw Thrills released Cruis'n Blast for the arcades, and it did not get ported to a game console until the middle of September of 2021. Nearly 5 years later. Now, this game honestly could have been a launch title for the Switch, and it probably should have been, since the Switch didn't come out until March, I believe it was March 4th or March 3rd or whatever, in 2017. So it was about a month and a half after the game came out in arcades. Now, Nintendo could have approached Raw Thrills and had them work on a console port as well, but no, that didn't happen, which honestly I think it should have. So we're going to talk about Cruis'n Blast today. So let's get into it. Alright, so here we are. Cruis'n Blast. This is the title screen. Let's get into the game here. So you see you got your standard stuff. You got single player, multiplayer, local play, and extras. If you go to the extra section, I'll show you what this stuff does. It's pretty much, you know, the way you can check your progress and whatnot. So you can see here that I got all 6 Grand Prix gold medals on easy and normal. Honestly, there's really no reason to do it anymore after that, because once you do it on normal, you pretty much have everything unlocked anyways. Here's your garage. These are all the vehicles you can get, cars and whatnot. We're going to go over these more extensively, but you can see here, you can level up your vehicles. Max level is 5. So if you look like down here at the UFO, it says, you can see level 5 maxed on the super bike and stuff like that. Again, we're going to go over the vehicles and more extensively. And here, these are the tracks. There are 29 tracks, or at least the game wants you to believe there's 29 tracks. Each track has 3 keys, as you can see. You can check here to see how many keys you've collected in a stage if you don't have them all already. This is your controls, how to play. So A is gas, B is brake. The X button, you can change the music during a race. The Y button, you change the view. Left stick is steer. The L buttons, either one is the boost, which is called blast in this game. And of course, the R buttons is drift. And here's the credits, which we don't give a shit about the credits. So, about the tracks. I say there are 29 tracks in the game. If you go to single player, these are your game modes. You have Cruis'n Tour, which is your Grand Prix. So if you click on here, again, we'll go normal. Each tour unlocks after you complete one. Each tour has 4 races. So here you only get 24 tracks, but there's 29 in the game, right? So you see this first one here, Carnival Jungle? Well, I'm going to show you something. That Carnival Jungle, if you go here to Classic Arcade, here's your other 5 tracks. That makes 29. You see this one here called Rio de Janeiro? It's the same track as Carnival Jungle. Same exact track. Nothing different about it, just under a different name. So, for the sake of this review, we're going to play at Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Now, here are your vehicles. They do have a little bit of licensing here. You have the Corvette Stingray, you have a Nissan 370Z, Nissan GTR, 69 Cadillac Eldorado, GMC Hummer, 69 Corvette, Chevy Camaro ZL1, 63 Corvette Stingray. You have a police car. You have the Rubino Bullet, which, again, now you're getting to the cars that are just named ridiculously. So, once you get to the Corvette Stingray here, the rest of these cars from the police car onward, you have to unlock them. And how do you unlock them? Well, you either buy them with cash, which you can see over there, I have some cash, or you get them by unlocking them by getting the keys during the races. Now, when you get a key, when you get the keys, if you get enough keys, it'll unlock a certain car. What do you do with the keys? You get the cars. Sometimes cars. Because look here. We have a hovercraft. We have a stealth chopper. A UFO. A motorcycle. An ATV. A monster truck. Fire truck. School bus. A double-decker bus. A fucking dinosaur. A hammerhead shark. A unicorn. And a tank. And I really don't know whether or not these stats on the left actually matter. Because according to the stats, the unicorn is the best. Now, if you click on these, you could do things here. You could change the paint color. You got some options here. You know, your pinks, greens, purples. You know, a couple different shades of colors. Personally, I think the silver looks good on the Pegasus. These are upgrades. You unlock upgrades by leveling up your car. So that's a little ridiculous. So that adds lights to the hooves. Body kit is the wings. And the engine is just attaching two exhaust pipes to its ass. You could also buy turbo boosts for $5,000 each. You do the same thing here. Change the Triceratops' color. I don't have the engine on this one, and I don't have the body kit on this one, but you can see what it'll look like. I can add lights to its thing around its I guess shoulders. This would add, looks like some kind of carbon fiber over its face, like a mask. And then I could get this. This would add an exhaust pipe to its ass. Now, like if you change here, again, change the car. I didn't unlock any of these. The cars have decals. The cars have decals and whatnot. So, you see, I'll show you the bike because I did max out the bike. Again, you can change the color of the bike. You can add neon lights to the tires, the body kit. Doesn't really add much to the bike. And the engine is, again, just an exhaust pipe. It adds another pipe to the left side of the bike. So, let me show you how ridiculous this looks. Let's do the Death Valley race. We will drive as the unicorn. During the loading screens, you get race tips, and this one says wheelie over a jump for a backflip. Yes, you can do stunts in this during a race, and if you time the perfect start, you get a turbo boost from the start, like that. So you can drift. The longer you hold the drift, the more turbo boost you get. You can do that. You can do barrel rolls. You can do takedowns. If you double tap the brake, you can do a 360 spin. If you do a wheelie over a jump, like I said, you can do a backflip. As soon as I get a good ramp, I'll show you the backflip. Oh shit. So here we go. Oh, still not the backflip. There we go, there's a backflip. Of course I backflipped off of the car this time. And this game, the difficulty in this game is kind of ridiculous. And I understand why. It's because it was built for arcades. This game has bad rubber banding. What I mean by rubber banding is like you could take out a vehicle with a takedown, and literally like 2 seconds later, that very same vehicle will be up your ass again, trying to pass you. Also, along with the keys on the racetrack, which you won't see keys on the racetracks because I collected them all, but you could also find stacks of cash. And if you get a stack of cash while doing a race, it'll add it to the amount of money that you get at the end of the race. The amount of money you get for finishing a race depends on what position you finish in. Which I'm about to finish. Oh, I took first place at the very end. Look at that.
First place.
Each race is literally less than 2 minutes long. Yeah, you can see here I get $1,000 for first place. More money for stunts. More money for picking up cash. More money for airtime and whatnot. So that's really it. You know, that's the gameplay, man. That's really it. This game is pretty simple. Not a whole lot to it. You know, like I said, the Rio de Janeiro track is just one example of one track having two different names and being pawned off as a separate racetrack to add to the total. There's a few other examples of that. There's a few other examples of that, but, you know, I don't remember them all. And some racetracks may not be the same, but some racetracks take, you know, mix and mash assets from other racetracks to make another racetrack. So realistically, there's probably only maybe 20 out of the 29 tracks are actually original racetracks. And of course, as you saw, just like the older Cruis'n games, if you're familiar with those, races are from point A to point B.
Rio de Janeiro.
And they're sprint races. That's pretty much all they are. Got to admit, though, the only song really in the game that has like the lyrics is a little catchy. We'll race with the motorbike this time just to show you. Honestly, I don't think the stats really matter. I'm also going to play Rio de Janeiro and the Carnival Jungle track so you can see what I'm talking about, how they are literally the same racetrack with a different name.
Welcome to Rio de Janeiro. Ready, set.
Right, there we go. And like I said, this will also show you that the vehicle, I don't think the vehicle matters. Because look at that, I'm in last place right now. And this bike is pretty much just as fast as the Unicorn. As ridiculous as that may sound. I don't think the wheelies give you a boost, even though it may look like it is. You can't do front flips. You can only do back flips, barrel rolls, and 360s. That. Look at this. Yeah, see, look at the rubber banding, man. I'm only in 6th place. I'm just about at the end of the race. I'm going as fast as I can. I've been drifting for boosts. It just does not seem to matter. See, look, I just took that vehicle out. And there he is again. He's going to pass me. AI speed in this game is... The AI's difficulty is ridiculous, and, you know, rubber banding in racing games can be a real problem. It could also detract from, you know, the replay value of the game, because if a game... Look at that guy! Dude just came out, tried to friggin' take that race right from the end. Like, these cars stay with you, and, you know, if you like a good challenge, I guess, you know, that's not bad. But, I mean, realistically, rubber banding kind of sucks. Because you could drive your best, and you will never gain a big lead on the opponents. So now I'll do the Carnival Jungle track so you can see it is literally exactly the same as what I just did. Which is kind of shit. So we'll just do single race, do normal. And yeah, and that's another thing, guys, the game's normal. I'm not racing on hard or easy. If I was racing on hard, they'd stay in front of you all the time. And this time I'll use the UFO. Look, you can see the UFO, you know, is a little bit slower according to this. But, actually change the colors. Oh, it's a little ugly. There we go. So, yeah, I bought this game. It was 10% off at Walmart. I got it a couple weeks after it came out. Walmart sometimes tend to put their games out, some of their games out, like 10% off for like a week or so, or a week or two after a game comes out. They don't do that with every game, but they do that with some games. So I got this game for like $32. And realistically, this game's not worth like $32. It really isn't. This should have been like a 10. See, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe so you can do side. You can do side wheelies in certain vehicles. See, I can do that. I couldn't do that with the Pegasus or the bike. But yeah, I don't really know if this game, I don't think $10 might be a little too cheap for this game. I would say maybe this game is worth maybe $20 at the most. And like I said, you know, before I started this review, or at the very beginning of this review, this game came out in 2017. This is not a new game. It got ported to the Switch almost 5 years after it first came out. This could have been a launch title for the Switch. You know, like I said, I really wish it was, because it would have made the Switch's launch library a little better. Because let's be real, the Switch's launch library was pretty bad. Look, have you noticed yet that this racetrack is literally Rio de Janeiro, that I just did this one, and now I'm doing it again, only it's being called something else? Excuse me. Getting over, just got over a cold. I still have a, you know, slight cough due to allergies and whatnot. Get this place right at the end. I'm out of boosts. Take down, yeah, I'm gonna take second place this time. But honestly, it doesn't feel like the vehicle stats don't even matter. And you see there, that's actually a good, there's actually, you know, I can show that off. If your vehicle's not maxed out at level 5, you earn, vehicle experience based on what place you finish in. If you get first place, it's 1,000. Second place is 800. Third place is 600. And then fourth place and later is, I think, 300. So yeah, guys, don't get this game at $40. I don't know what it's going for now that it's been out for 6 months, a little over 6 months. Excuse me. And also the online play, I don't even know if the online fucking play works. 'Cause look, you can sit here and refresh, and refresh, and refresh. It's always going to say, no lobbies found. Now, you could create a lobby, But as far as I've seen, no one's ever joined it. I could sit here. I'll sit here like this in a lobby. And I could just sit here and wait. It says waiting for players. And this is it.
1 hour later.
Yep. Still waiting.
2 hours later.
What up, guys? It's Casey is Rogan, and today I'm out and about. I did 2 live episodes of video game hunting, so I figured tell you guys what I picked up at the game store. I had a bunch of
Man, this guy sucks.
3 hours later.
Ugh. You could sit here and wait to connect to an online match in this game until hell freezes over. You ain't playing this game online. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the Cruis'n Blast review. I want to thank you guys on behalf of myself and, of course, Gatekeeper Drew, the owner of the Derailed Patreon. We're, of course, $1 a month. If you've paid the $1, then you know it. But if you're seeing this perhaps later on, $1 a month gets you 8 shows a month. It's a damn good deal, in my opinion. And honestly, if you're not following the Patreon, or you're not subscribed to the Patreon for $1 a month, what the hell's wrong with you? It's less than a cup of coffee a week. It's a quarter a week. What could you buy with a quarter these days? Nothing. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching this episode of my game reviews. Again, it's something I don't do too often, but it's something I wanted to do today. To take a break from the history of Gran Turismo that I've been working on for the past few weeks. If I sound a little off, it's because I just got over the flu and a cold back-to-back last week, so that kind of sucks. I'm pretty much 100% now, but yeah, my voice is still a little messed up from all the coughing I've been doing last week. Anyways, guys, I'm just randomly rambling at this point. Jesus. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. Thanks for being a patron. My name is DeRose. Until next time, I'll catch your ass down the road.